Hey, so I have a new record of how late I am recording audio for video. See, so this weekend is is NakaCon, which is pretty much the one convention a year that we go hang out at for ridiculous amounts of time. Tomorrow we're going to be there for like 16 hours. Or today, it's 1 in the morning. But this is relevant because you see, the what I'm working on today is I still don't know how to classify it. I guess mixed media piece. Um, for because they have a bunch of like little contest things. Iron Fake was one of them, which is get an hour to write a fanfic with the prompt, and it's really fun. Um, actually finished it and came home from that, and I realized that I had edited the audio for this. Sorry, I'll get to the point later, hopefully. But I went and I realized that it did not record. That while I had edited the video, I had not recorded audio. And like, if it's gonna post on Saturday, we're gonna be at the convention center at 10. Kinda gotta get it done now. Whoops. So, one take, even less editing than usual. Which, yeah, I get that's saying a lot. But anyways, anywhoozles. Back to topic at hand is they have an art contest, and it has to be, like fan art or something Japanese in origin. And I had a piece I was thinking about entering, and then I decided on Wednesday that I wanted to do something else. Originally, I was going to go with the split mouth woman, but I realized maybe I shouldn't go with gore. Whoops. So I instead went with my second favorite Japanese folklore mythology. I think it's folklore, really. Urban legend. Yuki Onna, which is the snow maiden. And decided to... So, yep, did that. And that's what I'm working on in this video. I think I've said that. And it's really interesting because it's a fairly prevalent... Again, I don't know if it counts as myth or folklore because I'm not quite sure what the distinction is. Semantics, really. Across pretty much all of Japan, but there's pretty wide variances between localities. In most of the areas, they appear as a beautiful young woman, but they're with long black hair and bright blue lips. That's really about the end of it. Sometimes they're benevolent, sometimes they're, like an avalanche, death. But generally long black hair, very pale blue lips. Oftentimes, and it comes down to, again, to area, but also comes down to either in a white kimono or naked. I went with fursuit, close to it anyways. And I didn't want to leave it just completely white, so I put in a gradient of blues and various others. But I wanted to keep to blue and white and black as a color scheme. And also interesting is a lot of like spirits in Japanese myth and folklore for some reason do not have feet. Like it's a specific thing, which is kind of weird. So I decided to just have her cut off at the ankles essentially. And then I just kind of went with, that looks cool. Because I did not have time to do my normal deep dive research, disappointingly. But, anywhoozles, I wanted, so with the kimono I did the layers of first the blue wash and then just sort of polka spots, not polka dots, whatever. And what I'm doing now is I got a bunch of Pearl X powders and discovered that if you mix them with water, they essentially act as a metallic watercolor would. So I added some smaller spots and such to the ribbons coming off of your hairpins and the trailing bits of kimono and the bead bobble things on the obi lacing. I can't remember but they have a specific thing that they're called, and I can't remember right now, and I feel really annoyed and bad, but it's 1 a.m. I'm gonna get this exported and go to bed, because I gotta be at the convention center at 10. Let's see. I was very proud of myself. I managed to not cut myself on an X-Acto blade this time, so that was very pleasant. So this weird thing is, I don't think I've done any on this channel, but last year I did a series of 5 jellyfish mermaids, which are all posted on my Tumblr. I'll post a link below to the post I have of them, along with my usual links, because I link to all of my social media underneath my Instagram, where I post work in progress pictures, and sometimes dogs, and sometimes my sister, because for some reason a lot of her friends follow me on Instagram and she never posts pictures of herself, so I put them up for her. But yeah, so I have links to my social media and store below. And anyway, so I did those to use up some canvases I got on clearance because they had holes in them. So do the initial painting on watercolor and then do a background in a combination of watercolor and acrylic on the canvas, and then paste it down, which was interesting trying to figure out. So here I have kind of nifty, but it looked more like a storm. And then I ruined it by covering it in paint. So I was kind of thinking going for a blizzard, except didn't quite work that way. And I ended up doing 2 coats of paint, one heavier one with a sort of a blue-gray with a lot of Pearl X powder mixed in, because I got a lot of new colors, and they're really fun, and they're sparkly, so I wanted to use all of them. We'll get to that in a bit. But so yeah, and then second coat with a little less to go for snow, and then I signed it in a blue, which doesn't stand out, but it's still yes. And here is where I believe I made a mistake, because I just took a makeup brush after it had dried and just covered it in Pearl X powder, which looks really, really cool, because the watercolor parts and the acrylic parts take to it differently, and it's awesome. But the way that I figured out to get these on here, because I had to Google, and Google didn't help me, because everything was responses for collages. So I used a Liquitex gloss medium and just sandwich it in, and then put it under weight and let it dry overnight. And this time I accidentally got a little tiny bit on where I'm pointing right there, so it tore, and I was so bad. But yeah, and then I covered everything with Pearl X powder again, and that is the finished piece. Thanks for watching.